Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is the BMW 2 Series. But is it any good? Let's begin with styling, which as a sports coupe, that's really key here. A lot of the reason why you might buy a car like this is because of the image, how cool it is, really. I think this is one of the best looking cars BMW currently makes, and that's great news. I love the power bulge up here, still fairly restrained kidney grills with some active flaps in them, but a lot of very beefy, sporty styling around the bottom end of the car. You'll also note it is quite wide. That's because to make this car in proper BMW rear-wheel drive tradition, they had to actually move it up onto the 3 Series platform and then compress that down into being a compact coupe. Though what it detracts from in ability to park in narrow spaces, it probably adds in ability to go around corners very quickly. Moving down the side, you can really see how compact this car is in regards to length. Much more similar to a family hatchback than a saloon car. On this 230i model, it's available on these excellent 19-inch alloy wheels. And here, there is a fuel filler flap. But I think I'll move around to the back and talk about the back. Here we find the badging for the car in question. This is a 230i model. That means it actually has a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine with turbos. Lovely. BMW badge and a nice large splitter. You also get this interesting shape in the rear lights, although personally I think I would prefer them if they continued slightly further onto the boot lid. Speaking of the boot lid, you might be thinking you can't possibly buy one of these cars because it will never be as practical as your VW Golf. Haha, fear not. If I open up the boot, number one, this is 390 litres, so it's actually 10 litres larger than your Golf's boot. But also, these rear seats fold down 40, 20, 40, so there's through loading in the centre, or it expands right up if you need to fit in longer items. So even though you've only got a traditional coupe/saloon boot opening, there's still loads of room in here for all of your things. That's what you should tell your partner anyway when you're justifying why you bought the car. So it's more practical than a Golf. That's what you can tell them. Shall we see if I fit in the back seats? Okay, so maybe the back seats aren't as good as they will be in a VW Golf or other family hatchback, but I can just about fit in here. I wouldn't want to be in here for a long journey. There's no headroom. My legs are right against the driver's seat in my driver's position. I'm 180 centimetres tall for reference, but there's a decent amount of luxury. It's a full-sized seat, so it's a middle ground. It's not like the full Audi TT experience, for example. Now I've got this centre armrest with cup holders, so that's lovely. Otherwise, there's not much else going on. You do have Isofix back here, although I can't imagine it would be very easy to get a child seat in through the 2 front doors, because obviously it is just a 2-door cabin. And I do get air vents, which is a nice touch. The seats are in Alcantara with cloth centres, but like I've said, it's not really a space for adults for a long time. It will work in a pinch. Would be fine for children as long as you didn't have to get child seats in and out on a regular basis. Let's, though, go through to the front and see how it is there. There's certainly much more space up here. It feels really, really premium as well, though it should. The starting price for the 230i is over £40,000, and as I sit in this one, it's £48,000. So I am expecting some kind of 3 Series level of refinement and luxury up here, and I've got to say I mostly have it. I've got a nice leather wrapped steering wheel, I've got Alcantara and cloth on my seat centres, a little bit sporty M Sport package. I've got loads of soft touch bits, so centre console storage area, the wireless charger in it, and a USB-A and 2 cup holders and a 12-volt socket, but I can cover that up with this, and it's damped, which is lovely. Space for 2 cans in there. Glove box is damped and felt lined, which we love to see. It's a nice big size as well. It's this weird mixture in here of this is very practical for a small coupe, but much less practical than a practical car, if that makes sense. Definitely comfortable though. Manual seats, but loads of adjustment. I can change the angle of the seat, the height of the seat, how reclined I am. Loads of adjustability in the steering wheel as well. Really get into a comfortable position. You love to see it. Generally the cabin has a nice mixture of materials in it. The kind of brushed aluminium style stuff here on the dashboard. You've got leather down here where your knee touches. I've got a soft touch under both my arms. There is some slightly harder plastics on the dashboard and lower down in the cabin, but overall I think this is pretty much hitting the mark for its price, and still keeping that kind of sporty, stripped out vibe while also offering you a good amount of luxury. Center console storage, also decently big, and a USB-C hiding away in here. This one's your data connection, though, the USB-A, if you want to mirror to the screen. Physical controls in here are, it's a mix. It's an interesting mix. I've got a proper volume dial, which is nice. I like that, and I've also got it here on the steering wheel, which is good. What I don't have is climate controls. They're all in the screen, in their own separate screen. You can always get to shortcuts for the temperature, but if you want to change the fan speed or the air direction, you have to go into the climate screen itself. However, because this is a BMW system, it is pretty slick and responsive. I would much prefer to have a proper row of climate shortcuts or something around here. I do, though, get my max defrost front and rear, and then I've got infotainment controls down here, so I can go through the screen with this kind of iDrive media controller here if I want to while on the move. So it sort of circumnavigates that not having buttons thing, is you can control it without having to reach out and look away. But again, proper controls, I would prefer that. Digital gauge cluster as well. It's the traditional BMW setup, speed and revs going up either side in a kind of hexagonal shape. I do like it. I like a lot of this car, actually. So far, it's absolutely ticked all my boxes for what I want to see from a sporty personal coupe. So shall we see how it drives? Right, driving the 230i BMW. Let's start with some figures. 241 PS, 400 Newton meters of torque, which may not sound like the most power, but it does actually give you respectable hot hatch-esque figures. So that's a 0 to 62 in 5.9 seconds. But because this is a rear-wheel drive, aerodynamic, low-profile coupe, allegedly it'll get over 40 mpg, 42 mpg on the WLTP cycle. I don't personally think I'm going to get anywhere near that during this test drive, but it's theoretically possible. And again, that's what you can tell your partner when you're explaining to them the virtues of the 2 Series Coupe and why it's a much better choice than your family hatchback. One downside, of course, of a longer bonnet is visibility. At junctions, you end up quite a long way back from the line, so I've had to creep out a lot today. But once you're on the road, it is lovely. You feel the benefits of being hunkered lower down, having the rear drive behind you, pushing you along the road. Even in comfort mode that I'm in right now, it just feels good planted on the road, ready to be driven. But if I, with the press of a button, go into Sports Plus, suddenly my steering weight's up, I get a bit more noise in the cabin, my throttle becomes more responsive, and the gearbox becomes more responsive. I don't have adaptive dampers on this model, but you know what? The damping's quite well judged. It's not too harsh, but you don't roll too much in corners. It's a nice mix, especially for something you would maybe consider daily driving. I think it's very well set up, especially for British A and B roads. Now, other practicalities in the cabin, I do have cruise control. So if you're doing longer journeys, that should all be fine. I've got paddle shifters as well. It's a ZF 8-speed in here, so it is very, very fast to shift. Let's see what it's like getting up from 0 to 62, though, in that 5.9 seconds. Yeah, that feels good. I like that a lot, and really that's where this car shines in comparison to a hatchback. It's for the enthusiast. I've got this big chunky BMW steering wheel. I really like it. I really like this car. And if you don't have to carry too many passengers in the back, or you've just got one child, or you're childless and you're, you know, expanding into the world of performance vehicles, this is a great daily driver to have, because it just about has hatchback practicality while just getting you into that edge of sports car. And you know, it's not all the way there, but you can have 90% of the fun while still getting 40 mpg. And isn't that what we all really want? I think I've probably nattered on long enough though, so let's go back and do a quick conclusion. Right, that is the 2 Series reviewed. What am I thinking? Well, this exists in a space by itself. The TT is gone. No one else makes a small coupe. No one else even makes a saloon of this size, really. You basically pick between this and a hatchback, and I think this is so much cooler. It still has plenty of practicality. There's enough space for a couple of kids if you need to squeeze them in. But if you want something that's sporty and also daily drivable, and you could justify as sensible, but still have fun in, I think this is an excellent choice, and I would thoroughly recommend this car. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. You'll find all the links to all of our social medias down in the description. You'll also find 2 ways that you can support the channel. We have channel merchandise, and we also have memberships right here on YouTube. So please go and do one or all of those things, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.